We are thrilled to have you join us as we explore the incredible story of the MCP revolution. Before we dive in, let's consider a few questions. Do you think MCP is a new API? Will MCP replace APIs? What exactly is MCP? Why is everyone talking about it? Why, or even Microsoft, Google, and everybody else using MCP in their system to start with? Now, let's begin the story. Welcome to the MCP Mega Lab. So here we are gonna build an MCP, a GitHub MCP server from scratch. So now MCP is a new revolution that's happening. So with this, you're able to build a brilliant things, and you're able to do a fantastic tasks, and you can automate anything. So and your agents are becoming very powerful and very autonomous. And for all those things, the most important thing in the backend is your MCP server. So are you ready to be part of this MCP Mega Lab? So along with me, I have Kirtana, and she's also part of the Code Without Barriers, and which is part of the Microsoft. And then in addition to that, she's also looks after the DevRel of various companies. And in addition to that, she has done multiple, I think more than 20-25 high level code without barriers events. And on top of that, she has been a part of the higher level MCP community. Welcome, Kirtana.
Thank you so much, Chandra, for having us here. I'm really excited to explain about MCP and dive into hands-on sessions.
Yeah, cool. And along with me, we have Rahul Ramesh, and he's the senior AI scientist at Nielsen. And on top of that, he runs his own YouTube channel on mathematics, and he has translated the complex mathematical concepts into a brilliant interactive uh, videos. And in addition to that, he's also contributing to a lot of MCP stuff in the various GitHub repository, even in our repository. And thanks a lot for being part of this, Mr. Rahul.
Thank you, Chandra. Thanks for the warm welcome. Looking forward to code along with you.
Yeah, and we have Mr. Mohan, and he's doing his master's in agentic AI specifically, and now he's also part of this mega lab on MCP and trying out and doing hands-on on that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your welcome.
And we have Sejal Kaur, and she's an associate data scientist with Volvo, and then she's heavily following the MCP stuff, and then trying to integrate all those things in their work as well. So she would like to have the practical hands-on. Welcome, Sejal.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so then, so let me just introduce myself too. So I'm Air Solutions Manager at ZMI Holdings, which is part of ADNOC Group here in Abu Dhabi. And on top of that, so I am also part of the Gartner Research Circle member on AI. And in addition to that, so I'm part of the Google Cloud and the NVIDIA community member. And more than that, I am UAE Global AI Delegate. And in addition to that, I run my own YouTube channel, and I also do the courses on MCP, and we have coined a concept called pair vibe coding. So along with our team, we run a multiple series of videos on the pair vibe coding, and I hope you'll have a blast of hands-on with the MCP server. So let's get started. So how we will proceed further is, so first let me share my screen, and so this is where you'll find all the information in this LinkedIn post. And how to start it off, you just come here and find this particular comment, and here And don't forget to start this comment and then fork it and share it with the maximum people. So it will be very useful. And then just click on this link. This is a public repository. Anybody can access it. And so this is where you will find all the information. And here you will see the step-by-step learning path from module 1 to module 2, module 3 and everything. And once as you get advanced and by end of this all three modules you'll able to run your own MCP server for your GitHub account and do all the tasks with just prompts from GitHub Copilot, and that's what you're going to achieve. So this is going to be big and huge, and it's going to be crazy. So we are going to do all those things here, and our team members, they'll just take you through it. And but just to add a little more to this, and whichever specific to each module, you can just get into that particular folder, and within that you will able to find what all steps you need to execute one by one. So this is the step 1 exercise, and then you have the step 2 exercise for the module 1, and you have the step 3 for the module 1. So everything at one place. And similarly, once you move to the module 2, within this module 2 you will able to find these 3 steps exercises, and you just need to go through it. Everything is provided in detail, and thanks to the GitHub and Microsoft community, and that's what they have built this brilliant exercise for the hands-on. And thanks a lot, GitHub community too. Yeah, stage is yours, Kirtana.
Sure. Thank you so much, Chandra, for briefing out the things. So yeah, we are getting started with this quick, beautiful lab which is created by Microsoft GitHub Copilot team. So the basic idea of this lab is to see how we integrate MCP with GitHub Copilot. So to get started, as Chandra mentioned, we have all the settings, everything done. So I'll quickly brief you out how are we gonna use it. Let me share my screen. Just give me a second. So yeah, so this is the repository where we have all the details. So we'll be starting. In order to do this lab, you should have a basic understanding of GitHub. So that's where we are going to commit, fork, merge, and all the other steps. And then post that will be using code space, and where all the labs is going to be displayed, and we'll follow up the steps which is in the repository already. And here you should also know how to use GitHub Copilot, and MCP server will be built, and all the UI UX, the front end and the back end is everything built in already. So here we'll be just playing around with MCP server and GitHub Copilot. That's the agenda of the lab. So yeah, uh,
Yeah,
speaking.
thanks, Kirtana. So next, Rahul will take us through the module 2.
Okay. So in the module 2, we'll be discussing about how to get started with the GitHub Copilot. So uh, basically, we have Copilot in the VS Code. So how to interact with the Copilot and to explain the code or to your prompt to the Copilot, and then make it understandable, and then get a response which could ideally write, or which could again debug your code, or develop your code. So these are the things we will be learning in this module, and then also we'll be trying to know how to use the Copilot in VS Code.
Yeah, that's cool. So as Kirtana has mentioned, so we will start off with the introduction to the GitHub, and we will do this create branch commit file and open a pull request and merge your pull request. Then we will move to the next module 2, which is as Rahul was already mentioned. So we will just integrate the GitHub Copilot with the VS Code environment in Codespace, and we will test it. And once that environment is ready, now we are all set to go to the next, the most important and crazy freaking thing, which is running our own MCP server, which is your GitHub account, your GitHub MCP server with the GitHub Copilot. So that's what we are going to do here. So here we will understand MCP basics and server setup, then integrate MCP with the Copilot agent mode, then using Copilot to manage and solve issues, and you are going to get blasted with all this brilliant stuff all around that you would have never done it. So that's what we're going to do here. I hope you guys are very curious and excited to start it off.
Definitely, definitely.
So, so before even we actually start off, so Kirtana and Rahul, so what we're gonna do here is, let's try to uh, go back one step ahead and try to understand this whole environment first. Okay. So the most important aspects here is first let's try to understand the GitHub user interface, because once you have clarity of these things, then only you would able to do things in a much better way, right? So first thing, the most important thing for us is, so if you click here the code on the leftmost, this is where your entire repository will be visible. Okay, so then you have the branches, so main branch, and here if you come to this part, so this is the local. If you click here, this is basically talks about this GitHub environment, and this is what is local. But when you go to the code space is kind of GitHub's cloud code space. Once you open that in GitHub cloud, so you will able to get an VS code environment, and that's where we will do majority of the tasks, majority of our exercises. Now let's imagine if you're doing all your exercises, your GitHub Copilot, everything in a VS code in code space, how would that actions will be reflected in this environment? And that's where the GitHub actions comes into the picture. So this GitHub actions, at this moment we don't have anything, so GitHub action is nothing but it's a kind of a CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment to build into the GitHub. So it allows to automate workflows like running scripts when code is pushed, testing and deploying applications, and monitoring progress in GitHub skills course. Now, whatever we do in the code space, once you commit and all those things, because your commit in GitHub code space is a trigger to run this CI/CD pipeline, that will be reflected back into this GitHub. So now you have a GitHub and you have a code space. We will be working majorly when it comes to the MCP server module. We'll be working, and GitHub Copilot module 2 and module 3 will be completely working on code space. But how these actions which have been executed in the code space will be reflected in your GitHub is through the GitHub actions. So whenever you commit changes and push them, so your CI/CD pipeline, which your GitHub action will be triggered, and all the changes will be reflected here. And that's what the overall flow. I hope GitHub actions is clear.
Yep.
Kirtana, do you want to add any additional point to this GitHub action before we go to the issues?
No, I guess you have covered everything. We are good to go ahead.
So cool. So then we have the issues. So normally specific to these exercises, at least from the uh, GitHub community. So this issues is where we will have our new features that we want to develop, or the test cases that we want to use to test our applications, or bugging, debugging. All this information will be added as a issues, and we will try to solve these problems and we will fix the issues. That's what you'll see, the open issues, and then once you complete these issues, and we'll close the issues. And our major exercise in module 3 is we will use Copilot agent to create issues in your GitHub, and then we'll execute those issues and we'll close the issues. How brilliant it is! Without much of human intervention, you're not doing anything manually, everything is done through agent and MCP server. How fantastic it is! Are you excited?
I mean, just excited to see like we are in the world where everything is done through copilots and MCP servers.
Yeah, the MCP server and agent.
Amazing.
Rahul.
Yes. So pretty much excited to see how the agent is going to interact with the MCP server, and
Yeah.
then do everything from the agent perspective. Yeah.
Yes. So then the pull request, anyway, we'll come to this in detail even in our first exercise of the module 1. So here pull requests are basically when you have multiple branches. So a pull request will be created and then merging and all will happen here. We'll discuss this in detail. So basically pull requests help us collaborate on code with other people. For example, you're working on a common branch. Rahul and Kirtana are working on the common branch and they have done some changes and they are pushed. So there is that difference. Now we'll use this pull request and we'll bring it to the common stage. So we will just make a common collaborative, a single branch. So that is where it uses anyway. We'll go deep into this. So now let me click on the code again just to get into my repository. Now just come to this space, code spaces. Let's talk little bit more so that because this is where we're spending most of our time, right? So now GitHub Code Spaces is a cloud-based development environment that runs directly in your browser. It gives you a
Chandra,
full, yeah. Is it
I
not
think
audible?
yeah, you are audible. I just felt like you can click on the create code space so that it will take a lot of time to render. In a meanwhile, you can just tell about the concepts.
Yeah, but anyway, our first exercise, we don't need code space, but I just want to give the context and we'll go when it is required at that time we would do it. It's just like this consists of a VS Code editor and pre-installed tools and dependencies, extensions, and GitHub repositories, everything. So that's what this is where we'll be working for module 2 and 3. Okay. So now I hope everything is clear. So let's get started to the first module 1. So for to do that, just come to this repository. So this repository link has been added in this LinkedIn and we'll add it under the YouTube comments too. Okay. Just in the module 1, click on this link. So this is the introduction to the GitHub and this is what we will start it off. Is it clear? Are you following up?
Yes.
So now what we are going to do here is first step 1. It's very simple. So here this exercise, Kirtana, can you just quickly go through, take us through what all we'll be doing in this exercise
Yeah,
by the
definitely,
time?
Chandra. So in this exercise, we will be starting with creating a branch. We'll create a file, and then we'll also open a pull request and merge all the pull requests. So this is the main agenda of this
Yes.
model.
So now let me start this exercise. Nothing much to do. Just click on copy exercise. And this is gonna create bring this repository into your GitHub account. So make sure you have the public, not the private one. In addition to that, you have to working on a repository where you are the owner and repository name, you just keep it same. You don't need to change anything. I'm just clicking create a repository. So let this repository get created. And now, so, and make sure you're working on this repository, which is in your GitHub account, not in the Microsoft's or the GitHub community. Okay. So now, so this is what we'll be doing here. So now once you have done your work, the next step here is to just go through the process step by step. So that's where, like, just click here and again keep this repository side by side. So this is the module 1. This module 1 consists of all the steps. So just click here. This is what you need to do as a first step. Just keep it ready, handy for you, and you just need to execute these steps one by one. Clear? So now, Kirtana, what is the first step here?
So we'll be after forking the setup and everything is set up. We'll be creating. Let me take you through the process. Just give me a second. I'll just open the repository.
Yes,
So
yes,
first step will be creating a branch.
yeah.
First step is
So
to create.
yes, that's what we'll start it off with the first step. So, but so basically, as you guys know that GitHub is a collaboration platform that uses Git for versioning, and GitHub is a popular place to share the contribute and open source code. So now in this, Kirtana, if you open this particular repository, okay, and within this, if you open this create branch, can you take us through what is repository, what is branch quickly before I move to the exercises?
Sure, sure, sure. So can you please display the screen so that I'll yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so when we create any project, we'll have multiple repository. So here, the first step of this project is to create a branch where we'll be doing all the exercises. I mean, particular changes and everything. We'll see how are we, making the changes, creating issue and do things. So the first step here is to create a branch. A branch is nothing but a parallel version of your repository. By default, our repository has one branch and it's already named as main, but now we'll be creating a branch called .vs code, so that we are doing everything .vs code .json, so everything will be creating there on that particular file.
Okay, so that's what is our first
First
target.
code.
So first exercise. Okay, so let's do it. Are you guys following up, Rahul?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so now step one, you make sure you are in this repository where the skills introduction to GitHub repository is in your account, in your GitHub account. Then just click on this code, and once you click there, so you just come to the this particular section, which is where that's where you'll find the branch. So now at this moment we have only one branch, which is main. That's a default branch. So now if you want to create a branch, what you have to do, you just need to type my first branch. Okay, so now nothing much to do, just in the text here, in the text box, you'll find a section called create a branch. Okay, see, create a branch my first. So you just need to click on this to get created. That's it. So now the branch will automatically be switched to the one just you have created. So now you are able to see I have two branches, and the branch which is active is my first branch which has been created because it has been checked out. In GitHub, in Git language, we call it as a checkout. So I think, Rahul, if you remember, 3.5 years back, we have made a brilliant uh, course
uniform.
on Git and GitHub.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So now this is my first branch. I will add that link also in the repo in that comment section so they can go through it. So, okay, our first exercise is done. So now the main branch, this is a main branch drop down menu will display this new branch name. That's what you see, that from main we have moved to the my first branch. Now that our branch is pushed to the GitHub, so now I think this particular exercise is done. Now how to check this exercise is done or not? Again, you just need to get into the issues and come here, and you see that this particular section has been done. See, nice work. Everything is perfect. Preparing content for the step two. One moment. So that's what.
So we'll have to thank Mona here. After each process, she'll be interrupting and she'll be complimenting or she'll be suggesting like what to do, what not to do. So that's something really that I appreciate. Thank you, Gito, for
Thanks a
that.
lot, Thanks a lot, Mona. We highly appreciate your feedback. So now let's get to the let's get to the next exercise. Kirtan, can you take us through the next exercise?
Yes, please.
So now let me click on the step two, which is a commit a file. And this is our step two.
So next, once we create a branch, whatever we do inside the branch, like say we have some changes or something that we modified, or some we create something. After creating anything, we always commit. So
Yeah,
once a change is done, we update everything and we commit it. So that's called commit.
yeah.
The entire files get updated and it is saved.
So what exactly happens when we say commit? A commit is a set of changes to the files and folders in our project. And this commit exists in a branch. So when we commit, whatever the changes we have done so far will be added into that, and the track of it will be, the entire changes will be tracked in a graph. So that's what is the commit. And so shall we start our first commit, at least for this exercise?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, done. So Kirti is excited. So now
We'll
what we
ask
need to do is
Copilot. We'll ask Copilot to do something, and maybe we can try on something instead of we
just wait for
coding.
some time. Just wait for some time. Let's do it with the Copilot also.
Yeah.
So now this is for the beginners who does not know much about the GitHub. So that's the reason we just want to make sure they are familiar with these activities before even we get into the Copilot. Basically, we are building up step by step. So the basic, then Copilot, then the MCP server. So now let me click on this code, and this will take us to a repository back. Okay, now if you see, my branch is the my first branch. That is a new branch which we have created. Is it clear? We have to make sure you are on this new branch, which is my first branch. Done. Next,
Yeah.
step 2. It's very simple. Just come here and click on add file drop down and click on create a new file. And what do you want to write? What do you want to give the file name? The file name here is, just give pro profile dot md. This is a markdown file. And what do you want to write under this? It's very simple. Welcome to my GitHub profile. Write down, and that's it. So now we have created a file and we have written something, and of course clearly there are some changes then compared to the existing repository. Yes or no, Kirtu?
Yes, definitely. We have a new update called "Welcome to my GitHub
So
profile."
what do we need to do now?
So next, we'll have to commit the changes. So in the
So
right
it's,
hand corner, we do have a green button. So when we
yes.
click on that, we'll have a commit and type
What do you want
something.
to?
What?
I'll just give add profile.md. So that's what my commit message. Description is up to you,
Yeah.
but that's fine. So now, where do you want to commit? The most important thing, where do you want to commit? So here, if you see that we have added the profile.md in the commit message, and when it comes to the extended description, it's clearly up to you to add or not. But it would be always advisable to add a detailed description, because some other developer who's watching your commits, he can understand something from it. Now, where do you want to commit? Is it to the new branch or old branch and everything? So this should be committed to the new branch only, which is my first branch. So we will commit this into the my first branch. So let me click on commit changes, and so you can clearly see that this has been committed, and here is your file, which is profile.md. Can you see that? Now, just before we go to the next step and do anything, can you clearly see here what it's saying? This branch, which is my first branch, is one commit ahead of the main branch. That's what it is saying. Your my first branch is one commit ahead of the main branch. That means this has an additional piece of code in it, whereas the main branch doesn't have. Now, normally what is our process? We'll keep a main branch and we'll make a separate branches, which is a parallel piece of repository, and we'll do all the changes in this parallel piece of repository, and we'll commit all those changes to the main branch if everything is fine. So that's what the process. Now my first branch is ahead of my main branch, means I need to commit this to the main branch so that they are in parallel. So Kirtu, what do we need to do now?
So after committing, next step is to, if you want to learn how pull request works, the next process we can go ahead with the pull
Yes. So
request.
now the next step, as Kirtan is saying, it is time for us to go to the next exercise. So you just come here and check here what Mona is saying. If she says all good, it's cool. So now for me, the Mona is set. Mona has said that nice work, everything is perfect. Let's move to the next step, which is open a pull request. So the
Let's
next step,
appreciate. So we have successfully committed.
yeah, I hope the guys who are following up is also successfully completed this exercise. Okay,
Yes.
Kirtu, it's up to you. What will we do next?
So since we have committed the request, next process is to pull the request. Request
Yeah.
when we collaborate with a lot of other developers, like when we have multiple files, what we do is we pull the request and we try to merge. That's where pull comes into picture. So yeah, let's proceed with pull request.
Okay. So Rahul, do you have anything to say or any doubts, or do you want to go ahead?
No, I actually am following up with you guys, and we can go ahead and create a pull request.
So far, so good.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, Kirtu, then let's get back to the exercise. And again, it's same, nothing much to be changed. Just click on the code and that will take you to your repository. But this time, what we are going to do is we are going to get into a different tab. So now in the header, we call this as a header menu. Okay, this is our header. If you know any web development, we call this as a header, and at the bottom we'll call it as a footer. So in the header menu, you will able to find there is one tab called pull requests. So just click on the pull requests. Now if you see this, there is already an existing button called new pull request, because our two branches are differing each other. So our one branch is ahead than compared to the other branch. So what we're gonna do now here is nothing much to do, just click on the new pull request. So once you click on the new pull request, so it is, you need to do a bit of setting here. So you just need to make sure in these branches, the following branches, using the drop down, the base repository is always main branch. And where we are experimenting, testing, changing the code, writing the code, if everything is fine, we just want to push it back to main. So now we want to compare the base repository with the experimentation repository, which is my first branch. Okay, this is very important. So I hope you guys understood, or else I would repeat one more time. Your base repository should be main, and then the compare with the my first branch. Is it clear?
Yeah. Perfect.
Done. So now it's all set. It's time to click create pull request. So now it has opened a dialog box. So here we just need to give a proper title. Okay, what I'm gonna give here is, so I will type enter a title for our pull request. So by default, the title will automatically the name of the branch. That's what we got, like the name, the commit that we have given before. So, but at least for this exercise, what we're gonna write is add my first file dot. So this is what we are gonna write it here. Okay, so add my first file now, and you have the another section which is empty, which is basically the next field helps you provide a detailed description of the changes you made. So here we can enter a short description of what we have accomplished so far in the my first branch and what we are trying to push it or merge it with the main branch. That is what fundamentally we need to write it down here. So what I'm going to do, I have created a branch and also I have created a file and made a commit, and that's the message. And once this is done, it's all set. Now it's time for you to click on create pull request. So now that we have started a place to collaborate and we have everything set, I hope there are congratulations. There are no conflict with the base branch. Merging can be performed automatically. Let's wait for it. Well, for the proper merging. I hope there won't be any issues because we have followed everything in a proper way. Let's wait for this to get completed. Yeah, Kirtu, do you want to add something here before we move to the this particular
Yeah,
exercise and
so
check with Mona?
yeah, definitely. So this step is really important when it comes to high level projects and coding, especially in production. We face a lot of problems while pulling the request as well as merging. So the step is really god
Yeah,
level
Rahul,
important.
exactly. Rahul, you can also pitch in and you can say that. So like when we used to work as in a AI projects majorly in a collaborative way. So initially we used to use this GitHub, right? So how beneficial it was because you used to work on few features and Mohan used to work on other features and few other interns and few other data scientists used to work on different features and they just push theirs at the end of the day, like after checking everything in a proper way into the main branch and you got the final base repository.
Yeah.
So now you just go back to the issues and check with Mona what she's saying. I hope everything should be fine. She should be happy. So making her happy is very important at this moment for us. Kirtu, what do you say? And she's happy. And we have we are passed. So the pull request title is also proper and pull request description is also right. So we are all set to move ahead for the step 4. And what are the step 4? Step 4, Kirtu, can you take us through the step 4?
Ketan, unmute
Yes,
yourself.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. So next step after pulling is definitely merging. So when I say merge, it's combining a lot of files, and then there'll be a lot of files when a lot of developers do a lot of projects. We have to at the end of the day merge and then complete the entire project, right? So that's when merge comes into picture. So after pulling something, we'll definitely merge. It is.
Yeah, that's cool. So this is very, very important feature. So now let's do that. Okay.
Years
So let
where a
me
lot of conflicts happens while merging.
exactly too many conflicts. Rahul used to create those because Rahul has worked along with me. Like he was the senior data scientist before in my team when I was leading the team. I hope Rahul remember those days.
Yeah, yeah. How can I forget?
I was just managing the team as manager at that time, so it was
I
fun.
mean,
We
it's
have done a
just a
brilliant
dev
work. Then
thing.
Kirti also later joined with us.
I mean, it's just a dev thing. It happens.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
I
day of
agree.
a dev.
So, yes. So now let's get back to the pull request section again. Now, so you see that this is what is the add my first file. So this is one of the pull requests which is active. And here you can see if you want to get the more information, what has been committed, what checks have been done, what files have been changed, all the information you can get it from here. So you see that add profile.markdown file has been committed and what all checks has been done. You can find this information and what files are changed basically in profile.md. This is what the information has been added. Let's get back to the conversation. And this is where now, as Kirtu was clearly saying, the next step is to merge. Merge adds the changes in our pull request and branch into the main branch. That's it. Whatever is there in the my first branch, all that new additional information will be merged back into the main branch, because that is what is our base branch. That's what is our root branch. That's where we'll maintain everything. So that's the reason we should not do much delay. Let's click on merge pull request. Kirti, do you want to change the message or do you want to add anything? So basically here, so uh, click merge pull request, and shall I confirm the merge or do you want to change the message?
Confirm the
Okay,
merge.
as Ketu is saying, we agree. So let me confirm the merge, and so now it's all set. So now
Hopefully.
it is set because merge one committed into the main from my first branch. Let's go. Let's get back to the code and check what's wrong in that. Can you see this? Your profile.md is there. That's it. Your so your pull request is done and it has been merged properly. So what's next, Kirtu? So
Let's
do you
check with
want
Mona.
no, but before even checking with Mona, Rahul, if you remember from your experience, just tell me this. For example, we are working on one important computer vision model. Of course, we have worked on the very big, huge computer vision model. So now you are experimenting with multiple neural networks, multiple types of neural networks. So in the main code, you're trying with one type of model and Kirtana was trying with another type of model. Now you have experimented with one type of model and it is successfully working. You have pushed this code from one of the branch that you have created and merged this into the main code. Now, will you keep your branch or will you remove it?
Uh,
So
Basically,
normally
there's
the best
no
practice, yeah, you can tell your best practice. Normally, pull request is successfully merged. Once your branch has been merged, you don't need that branch that you have created anymore because the base branch is important. So normally you can delete your branch. What do you say? How what your experience is?
once if it is merged with the main branch, then uh, there might be 20 developers working in the same project, right? So
Ah,
in that case,
exactly.
it would create a lot of mess if we have too many branches. Once every developer does a pull request and then merges their branch to the main branch, then maybe the after the deployment, then it is not required. Like we can go ahead and delete the existing.
So shall we
So it's
delete it
always better.
now?
So it's always better to have a pull request. I mean, in a safer end. Like if we have a branch, that's really safe space before merging it, until
Yes,
unless it's
exactly.
a deployment
Perfect.
process.
So now, Kirtu, are we ready to delete this one? So
Yes.
now let's click on this delete branch and you're all set. The branch has been deleted and it's been merged and it's been deleted. So now let's get back to the code. Click on the code tab on the header and you have only one branch and you're all set. Sure. So we have successfully completed this. Shall we speak to Mona before we wrap this up? And our issue has been closed. This is what the exercises she has told us to do. And we have completed everything. And thanks a lot, Mona, for supporting us and guiding us. It's done.
She's giving a green flag signals to us to proceed
Yeah.
further.
Cool. I hope everybody is following this properly and you are able to complete this one. Kirtu, can you quickly summarize this before we move on to the crazy piece of the
Sure.
entire lab?
Sure, Chandra, definitely. So, firstly, we did this like we created a branch. After creating a branch, what we did is we just pulled, and then we merged the request, and that's where we learned the basics of GitHub. So this is how we use the GitHub.
Yeah. So with this, I hope everybody who are following would got the proper hands-on on the GitHub. So what is branch, repository, commit, full pull request, and merging and etc. Because you need to have all those understanding. So now we are doing it manually, and all these steps within few minutes we are gonna use an agent, an MCP server, and that is gonna do for us. That is the reason I'm showing all those things. Now we are doing manually. Latest is let agent work for you, and you do much bigger things. Kirtu and Rahul, are you excited for that?
Highly excited to
Absolutely.
see how agents gonna take over.
Yeah, soon that's gonna happen. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now let's get to the next. This is now it's Rahul time to get into the picture. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'll just close this one, this repo. I'll get back to this, and again I'll just come to my MCP with hands-on, MCP with Copilot hands-on, and here just come to the module 2, and here you'll find a link. Just click on this link, and so Rahul, before we start it off, you can just quickly give what we're gonna do here, and then I'll start off with the exercises.
Okay. So in this module 2, we'll be going through how we will get started with the GitHub Copilot. So as usual, it's a feature in the GitHub. I mean, it's in the VS Code. So how we will use this GitHub Copilot, and we will leverage that uh, the yeah.
Yeah, so
So
basically we'll integrate entire stuff with the GitHub Copilot in the code base with the VS Code, and we'll experiment it. We'll try it in a multiple ways. We'll try to use the GitHub Copilot in the best way possible. I don't know how many people are using the GitHub Copilot in the best way possible. I think 80-90% of people don't use the tools in the most effective way. If you don't know, just accept it and watch the video carefully. We will show you how to do it in the best way possible. Because if you use the tool in the best way possible, you will get the best output. If you don't, you will not. So the the one who knows the one who knows to hit the nail properly using a hammer on the wall will will hit it in a best way possible than compared to the normal guy. So that's the difference of skill. That's why just upgrade your skill. Just watch it carefully. So Rahul will guide you, and I will run through the exercises. And in between, Ketana also will get into this. Clear? Are we ready to go to exercise 1?
yeah.
Okay. So now, so this is basically the repository where we'll be working. Again, we should thankful for the GitHub community. And then, so as a first step, just click on copy exercise, and that will create entire repository in your machine, and make sure you are the owner, and then repository name is fine with it. Okay, and it should be a public. So let us click on create repository. It's going to take a little more time, a few seconds. Just wait for it, and once it is up, then we will let you know the most important things. Now Kirtu, just let's just we'll get into this section. So we have to create the code space and all those things. As a first exercise here, uh, can you, Kirtana or someone, or Rahul, can you take us
Yeah,
through this? Yeah, then Kirtu will explain about GitHub Copilot. You just take us through this, what we'll be doing here, this for section 1, part 1.
Okay. So in this exercise, we will be building. Uh, we'll be using a different GitHub Copilot features to work on a website that allows students to merge it on high school to sign up for extracurricular activities, basically. Okay. So
Yeah, so
This is
that's what basically we will use. There is already one application built within it in this repository, and that we'll be using. That's perfect. Yeah. So now, how do you define GitHub Copilot, Kirtana? Because now I think there will be a lot of newbies around, so they wanted to understand before we actually get into this exercise. Let's give them the brief and let's explain them what it is. So can you go a little deep and explain what is GitHub Copilot?
Definitely. So when before GitHub Copilot, what just happened is we used to use LLMs. Even before LLMs, we used to, if we have any queries, we used to go to Stack Overflow here and there. We used to find something on a GitHub repository and other things. So after that, we got into LLMs. OpenAI happened. Like we just give some prompts and we used to get some codes. But thankfully, now no need of switching from accounts to accounts or from one tab to other tab. We have GitHub Copilot, which is our AI coding assistant. So if we have any queries, just give a good prompts. It's gonna assist you in
Yes,
every possible way. It's gonna
exactly.
tell what to do, what not to do, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
something really crazy. And the best part is
and
it is open source. No need to pay
yes,
anything for that.
and
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 on
that's
a
what
same screen, on a
and
same
that's what
screen.
and that's what we're gonna start it off here. Okay, so now to start it, so I think you have your repository with you, and the first thing what you need to do here is you need to create a code space. Of course, we have already discussed what is a code space. Okay, so now let me click on create code space on main branch. So this code space will take the main branch of our repository. Okay, so there is no branch, we have only one branch, and this code space, this VS code will access the main branch of GitHub. And as I already told you before, so code space is a cloud based development environment that runs directly in our browser. Okay, what all it will give, as you can see on the screen, it will give a full featured VS code editor and a pre-installed tools and dependencies. You can see the extensions and tools, and on top of that the seamless integration with GitHub repositories and all those things. So that's a brilliant thing. Now this particular piece, a GitHub code space, a cloud GitHub code space, will be connected with your main branch of GitHub repository. See, that's what it's going to take a little more time so to show up. But by the time, as Keitana was explaining of the GitHub Copilot, I would like to add a few points on top of it. So now you have the GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot, the fundamental engine behind the GitHub Copilot is Copilot. So Copilot itself uses the GPT models from the OpenAI. Now, what is the difference between a normal Copilot and then GitHub Copilot? So GitHub Copilot is a purely an AI coding assistant, and they call it as a pair programmer. It's a pair programmer. So it's an AI coding assistant that helps you write code faster and with less effort, allowing you to focus more energy on problem solving and collaboration. So now what all you can do with this? So I'll show you everything, but just for your benefit, by the time this environment gets show up, so one, it will provide the inline suggestions, means as you type, Copilot uses nearby context to suggest code directly in your editor. So this will be familiar interaction if you have used the code completion tools like IntelliSense. If you see in IntelliSense, there you will have a cursor. If you click tab, it will complete a piece of code, right? Similar to that, you can do it. Will GitHub Copilot will give inline suggestions. All those things we'll explore as part of exercises. Then you have the most important thing, which is GitHub Copilot Ask mode. Ask mode. So I think so this is getting ready. So our environment is all set. So it has an ask mode, and it has an edit mode, and it has an agent mode. So we will look into all those things, but before that I'll just show you. Let me check. um, okay, Kirti, what we'll do is while we are doing exercise, we will explain them as our environment is ready, our code space is ready. Let's get into the action. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely perfect.
So now, before we start using this, Rahul, I would like to highlight this point. How can we use GitHub Copilot? So as you work, you'll find GitHub Copilot. It can help out in several places across the websites in your favorite coding environments, and VS Code, JetBrains, Xcode, anywhere you can integrate this GitHub Copilot and it can be used as a pair programmer for you. Okay, so now as our environment is ready, so now the first thing what we need to do is, Rahul, you need to just come here and make sure you have two extensions installed. One is GitHub Copilot, and let me click here, and it is already installed. Check one is done. Now the Python from the Microsoft. Let's wait and see. So Python from the Microsoft, not the random ones. This is directly from the Microsoft. This is also has been installed. So now the first check is done, which is our environment, the whatever the basic extensions are there, so that has been installed. So now what you need to do is, if you see exactly if those things, once your GitHub Copilot is installed, if it is not installed, kindly install it. That's very important, or else you will not able to access it. So you make sure this has been installed. Okay, for me it is already installed, but if you install, the next for me, Rahul, is to come to this particular place at the top of the VS Code, locate and click the, this is a Copilot icon. It looks scary, but it is lovable. Open a Copilot chat. So now if you see, as we have discussed earlier, it consists of different things. Now let me click on open chat, and this will open a new window. So this is, if it is for the first time you're using GitHub Copilot, it will need, you need to accept few terms and conditions. So that's what you need to do it, or rest all it is set. So now our environment is set. Our VS Code with GitHub Copilot is set. Now what we will need to do, Rahul? So we are done till here. So what next we'll do?
So we need to enter the prompt
Yes,
and ask Copilot about the project.
cool. That's it. So let me copy this prompt as it is without touching, and let me get back to this environment. So I'm not opening anything. If you see the entire thing here, I've not touched anything. So I'm just entering this prompt and I'm pasting it here. And this is in ask, it is not in an agent mode. Okay. So now let's execute this and see what's going to happen. So let me pull it over here and you can see this in a much better way. So now the prompt we have asked is at the rate of workspace. Just remember, this is all the newbies. Remember this technique. This is very, very important technique. Remember this. When you mention at the rate of workspace, and please briefly explain the structure of the project. What should I do to run it? And majority of people who use VS Code and GitHub Copilot, they don't know this thing. They'll copy code from here, paste it here, copy. Use the tools better way, man. Learn to use it well. So when you type at the rate of workspace, it will go and search your entire workspace and explain the project structure. And that's what you need to do as a first step always. Give your project structure to the GitHub Copilot as a context. That's where it will have an understanding about your project. Please do it. Please familiarize your project with the GitHub Copilot. And that's what we have done so far. So this is what is our project structure, and app.py, and that's app.python, which is the fast API based backend. And we have the index.html, app.js, and other stuff all around. Of course, we have the requirements.txt. Is it fine so far? All good?
Yes.
Cool. So now let's run our application and see what it is, what it's up to. So to run our application, we don't need to do much complex things. So here just come to the on the leftmost sidebar. You can see that leftmost sidebar. In this, you just select this run and debug tab. Run and debug tab. So once you click this run and debug tab, this is what the window which will be opened. So I'm gonna close this one. And so here you can see a play button. Okay, this is fundamentally a start debugging. So once we click on this start debugging icon, so this will run our application. So let's wait and see. And yeah, it is using, okay, that's unfortunate. Of course it's running, but uh, it's using UVCon. That's fine, but still it is showing some issues. Now you can just click here and open it in your browser. This is one way, or else there is another option. Just come here, and here you can see the browser icon. You can click here either two, and I'm just clicking here, and your app, which is, as Rahul was mentioning, the Merrington High School extracurricular activities app is up and running. You can just give some, and you can just sign up, and this information will be updated in the back. So that is what is the app. So that's what has been done so far, and it is spinning at the port 800, and it's all good. So now what's next? So we have completed here, and our app is up and spinning. So now what we will do next? Rahul.
Go to the next step.
Yeah. So this time, Kirtana, what we will try to do is, let's try to go a little more creative and try to use the maximum capabilities that Copilot has. So that's what we are going to do here. Just brace yourself to do all those things. Huh? It will be crazy. It would be crazy, literally crazy. So now, so the next step here is, we just need to immediately return back to the VS Code, and here you will be able to see our app is up and running. You don't need to touch anything. Now, exactly, if you see in the bottom panel, which is this is the bottom panel. In this panel, select the terminal tab, click on this terminal tab. Okay, and once on the right side, you will able to see this plus symbol. So create a new terminal, which is bash. Okay, so now I got a new terminal, which is bash. So now what, as a first capability check, what we are going to do here is, we are going to run directly the Copilot within the terminal. So that's what we are going to do. So to run this within the terminal, and to run the prompts directly in the terminal, what you need to do is, if it is a Windows machine, you can just say Control plus I. If it is your another machine, so you can use the Command plus I. So here I'll say Control plus I, and that's it. Your Copilot is opened in your terminal. Is it visible? Is it clear, Kirtu? Rahul, is it visible? Are you able to follow? Can I move to the
Yeah.
next step? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So the next step. So once this is done, as a next step, so now we will ask Copilot. Okay, let's ask Copilot to help us remember a command we have forgotten. So let's ask Copilot to create a branch and publish it. See, whatever we have done manually, we are doing with Copilot. Okay, and that you have to do it in terminal, not in chat. Clear? Okay, so now it is saying that you can use this either these two commands and you can run it, but I'm don't want this to be with this kind of name, new underscore branch underscore name. I want to use my own name. So my own branch name. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say that awesome, thanks Copilot. Let's use the branch name with accelerate with Copilot. And that's what we're gonna do. And let me execute this. Okay. So let me execute this. So now it's gonna give, you see that it has given a two commands, which is git checkout -b with the branch name accelerate with Copilot, and another one is once you create that branch, push this to the origin. That's what it has said. So now what you need to do here is, now that we are happy with the command, let's press run button to let Copilot run it for us. We are not doing it. Copilot is doing it. So no need to copy and paste. That's what I was telling. Try to learn to use the tools in a most effective way. So now let's click here. And that's it. Your branch, after a moment, look in the VS Code at the lower status bar. It is clear on the, it's clear. So let me go to this at least. And where's this here? The branch. Here you will be able to see the branch, and here it's very clear there is a new branch. The name is accelerate with Copilot, and here also you will be able to see accelerate with Copilot. Can you see this? The blue one, accelerate with Copilot. So you are all done with this step. So now that your branch is pushed to the GitHub, now let's check with Mona what she's saying. Kirtu, are you ready to check with Mona?
Yes, already.
Ah, that's cool. And what Mona is saying, that's right. Yes, it's done. So Mona is saying, nice work. Everything is perfect. Let's go to step 2. Clear? So, okay. So now let's go to the step 2 in this. Rahul, so in the step 1, kindly brief us what we're going to do with step 2. In step 1, what we have done in the step 1 is we have used the GitHub Copilot within the terminal, and we have created a branch and we have pushed it. That's a brilliant thing to do. So now in step 2, what we'll be doing? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So in step two, so we are going to see how does the Copilot work. So
Ah,
what
yeah.
we are going to do is in our coding environment, Copilot will automatically consider nearby code and open tabs. If you are using the chat, we can also explicitly refer to these files. So that is one thing.
Exactly. So this
And
is what the major target here fundamentally. Okay. So we will deep dive into each of these things as we go ahead one by one. So let's get to the exercise one more time. Is it
yeah,
fine? Shall we
yeah,
continue? Okay.
yeah,
So now here the major target is, so first let's try to understand how does this Copilot work altogether. So just think of Copilot like a very specialized coworker, a pair programmer. To be effective with them, you need to provide them the background. That's what we always say, the context. Even the name of MCP came from Model Context Protocol, because the LLM has intelligence, but it needs a context. The moment you give more context, it will become crazy. It will become the most useful. So that's where the context, like how Google come up with attention is all you need. Now I say that context is all you need. Context is all you need. So to be effective with them, you need to provide them the background and clear context, prompts. Additionally, different people are better at different things because of their unique exercises. Now, how do we provide the context? That's what the most important thing in the entire game. So now normally what we will do is in our coding environment, Copilot will automatically consider nearby code and open tabs if you are using the chat. So normally, how does it take? If there is if you open, let's imagine I'm going to the SRC and I'm opening this app.py. So then see automatically, no wait, automatically app.py has been added into this chat. So that's how it will get context. That is one way. What? Next, if you add a cursor, let's imagine if I'm adding a cursor and I'm using inline edit, then the nearby code, it will take it as a context. Two, then, so what model should we pick? For our exercise, it should not matter too much. So experimenting with different models is part of the fun. Okay. So now how do we write the prompts? So being explicit and clear helps Copilot to do the jobs best. Unlike the traditional systems using the big follow-up prompts and all. No, it should be explicit, provide the proper context. So far, so good.
Yes,
Shall we begin the activity now?
yes, sir.
Okay. So now the first thing what we are going to do is the activity one is let's use Copilot to fix our registration bug. So we have a bug in our application which is registration bug. So let's try to fix that. You see that? Can you see this here? We have a bug, a registration bug, and that's what we're going to fix it up at the first place. So now to do that, what we're going to do is let's ask Copilot to suggest where our bug might be coming from because we don't know where this bug is. Let's ask Copilot only to get the where this bug is coming from. So let's open the Copilot chat. Here, can you see this? This is our Copilot chat, and let me close this app.py. I don't need this to be added in the context at this moment. And let's open the Copilot chat in ask mode. So this is where you have three types of modes: ask, agent, edit. So now let's explore ask, and after that we'll go to the agent and edit. So in ask mode, let's open this and let's paste this at the rate of workspace. Students are able to register twice for an activity. Where could this bug be coming from? The bug is students are able to register twice, but that should not be the case. They should be able to do it once only, but it is there. So let's try to find it out from where it is coming. Let's wait and see the magic. How this Copilot is going to help. GitHub Copilot is going to help us. So now you can see this. It has used 25 references, and what it's saying is the bug allowing students to register twice for an activity is coming from this sign up for activity endpoint. So if I go here and I will look for the sign up endpoint, let me find out the endpoint. This is get, which is just forward slash. This is a root and this is activities. And here you see that activities. This is the endpoint. Sign up for activity endpoint. Now that's where this particular bug is coming. That's what it is saying in app.py. So currently this function does not check if the student's email is already in the participants. So now what will we do? Rahul, so now we have a bug. So how will we fix this one? Do you want to do it manually or you want to take the help of GitHub Copilot?
We will take help from GitHub Open.
Cool. That's what is the spirit, man. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just come to my repository and I'll say, okay, let me say this. Let me say copy relative path. Okay, so that will give me the app.py because that's where the bug is. So that's why I'm copying this relative path file. So we know that this issue is in this file and this sign up for activity method. So that's where this particular issue, you see that sign up for activity. The issue is with this one at this moment. Now let's follow the Copilot recommendation and go fix it. So we'll start with a comment and let Copilot finish the correction. Okay. So now what we are going to do here is in the VS Code, select the, you see that you are able to get this. And now let's come to this particular method. This is where the bug is there. That's what it is saying. So sign up for activity method. Now what I'm going to do is, let me pull this up. So now we are going to use inline edit capabilities of this. Now find the, here in this, find the comment line that describes a student. Above this is where it seems logical to do our registration check. Now, are you able to find, enter this particular? So we need to add another additional piece of code. Okay. So now where do you want to add this? Now let me go back to this section. And here, so what it's saying is, let's copy this, enter the below comment and press enter to go to the next line. After a moment, temporary shadow will appear. So we need to add it after this particular piece of line. So about this, I think that's what it's saying. Let me check one more time. It is exactly at the comment line that describes adding a student. About this is where it seems logical. Yeah, that's fine. So now I'm going to add this piece of thing and just click enter. And you got the code. I've done nothing. I just said validate student is not already signed up. And I click enter. And I got a piece of code. Now I'm going to just click tab and my code is up. Is it magical? So now we just need to save this. That's it. And your piece of code has been added. So far, so good.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. Now, what we are going to do next? What we are going to do next? Now, in this particular project, and we can just quickly check, is there any issue? No. See, I have already added this with this name, chess club, and so now let's re-add this with this. It's not, it's fixed. The issue is fixed. GitHub Copilot help you to fix it. The bug is fixed. So now, what's next, Rahul? So what we are going to do next?
Next is we are going to ask, let the Copilot generate some sample data for us.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here exactly? So here we will use two capabilities of the GitHub Copilot. One is
Inline chat and
inline
then
chat, and second one is Copilot chat. See, we are exploring each and every capability of Copilot in a
Copilot.
fantastic way, in a brilliant way. So now I hope everyone's app.py file is open. If not, just open this particular file. And for now, let me minimize this one. So now focus on the center, this particular line. Okay. So now what we are going to do is exactly in this, just come to this section. Okay. Here in memory activity database. So what we are going to do is first, let's add more extracurricular activities. At this moment, how many activities we have, Rahul?
So we have
Three,
three
which is
activities.
chess club, programming class, and gym class. So now let's try to add more using AI. Okay. So now for that, where should I add? So basically, I need to come here, and this is where I need to add, right? So now
Yeah.
this is what is fundamentally inline chat. We call it as an inline chat. So now by default, it is coming. If you don't get this one, what you can do is you can just click on Control plus I, and that will open this window exactly where you have placed the cursor. And what you're gonna do is, what is your requirement? What is your requirement, Rahul, here? exactly what is your requirement?
So we
So
wanted to generate some sample data
yeah, here.
and add two more activities.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do here. So we want to add two more sports related activities. So two more artistic activities and two more intellectual activities. Total 6 activities we wanted to add. Let's see how would it do. So we have executed it and it is running and it is being added. So once it is all 6 activities are added, so we have to basically after a moment the copilot will directly start making these changes in the code, and the changes will be stylized differently to make any additions and removal to identify. So now let's inspect these things before we accept this. So now let me check. So soccer team, basketball, sports, drama club, artistic, and debate team, and math club. So we have requested for 6, and you can see the color which is a light green, and that's the additional piece of code it is adding. And we have requested for 6 each 2, and it has done it well. So I'm happy. Shall we accept it, or do you have anything to say here?
No, we will accept it.
Let me accept it as it is. And so let me get back to this and refresh it and see the piece of code. Here it is. Can you see this? So you have all the activities with you. So now using GitHub Copilot, we have fixed one bug and we have added more activities. How cool it is.
Fantastic.
So now what will we do next?
So
So
the
next,
next activity is to use Copilot to describe our work.
yeah. So what will we do?
So in the left side bar, so we will select the source control
Source
tab and then
control. Yes, exactly. So let's try to describe our work using Copilot. So so far we have done nice, brilliant, fantastic work by fixing the bug and expanding the example activities. Now let's get our work committed. Let's commit and push it to the GitHub again using the Copilot. Okay, using the Copilot. Now
yeah,
let's come to the left side sidebar. Okay, and here just click on this tab or this icon. This is a source control icon. You see that source control icon, and here clearly you can see there are few changes which had to be committed. So now what I'm going to do is here exactly on the app.py file and press the plus symbol. This is stage changes to collect your changes together in the staging area. So now let me click on this. Now we have collected all these changes, right? Now you got all these changes. Now above the list of the staged changes, you will able to find a message text box. Can you see that here?
mm,
Yeah, let me make it bigger for your benefit. Can you see this here? A message text box. And don't enter anything for now. Don't manually enter. Let's use GitHub Copilot. I'm telling, use the tools the bestest possible. Whoever knows to use the tool will lead the market. Others will disappear like dinosaurs. Just remember this now. So now here, what we'll do, let's use GitHub Copilot to write it. So now what I'm going to do is in this text box, either you can just click on this generate commit message with Copilot, okay, and the sparkle icon. Let me click here and let it do the work for you. Let it do work for you. And it has done it. It has done it in a much better way than you. So add extracurricular activities and sign up validation to the API. Brilliant. Brilliant. I would have not done this level of commit. I would have said, okay, bug fix commit and sign up bug fix commit and extracurricular activity commit. That's what we would have typed. And it has
mm,
described very well. Very well. So now what's next? Now let's commit this one. Nothing much to do. Press the commit button, and once you commit, it will ask for sync changes, and let me click on the sync changes to the GitHub, and the action will pull and push commits from the origin to accelerate with Copilot. And would you like to? No, it's not required. I think it is done. So here you will be able to see I got the accelerate with this original one, and it has been pushed. So now let me get back to this. Where is my exercise? And yeah, so here let's scroll down, and here it is, Kirtu. So Kirtana, so we have completed the
We have passed the step 2.
past. So we have cleared all the activities in the step 2, and we have done the brilliant work here, and thanks to the Mona again. So now the last small aspects. Rahul, let us know what you want to do next, and we will wrap this up.
So the step 3 is to getting work done even faster with the Copilot edits.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is we used features of Copilot that require more hands-on guidance, and they produced
Yes.
more localized results, right? So now we will explore Copilot's edits, a feature that allows working more historically on our repo.
Exactly. Now we are going to use the most powerful tool from the GitHub Copilot, which is edit mode. And
Yeah.
nobody will speak about this other than we. So here, let's get back to this and go back to the repository, and let me make it a little bigger. That's it. Now we are all set. So in our previous steps, we used the features of Copilot that require more hands-on guidance, and they produced mostly localized results. Now we will explore Copilot Edits, a feature that allows working more is holistically on your repo. For that, what we are going to use is, can you see here? We are going to use edit mode, which is edit mode. The Copilot edit mode is an AI powered code editing session to make changes across multiple files using natural language, and applies the edits directly in the editor where you can review them in place with the full context of the surrounding code. So now in this, what we'll be doing, we will do a multi-file. What all it can do, this edit mode, it can do a multi-file editing. Copilot edits can make changes across multiple files in your workspace at a time, and it can do iterative workflow designed for fast iteration, allowing you to review, accept, and discard AI generated code. And also it can do inline in place edits and working set, allows you to define which files to edit, which files the edit should be applied. Everything can be done. So how does this work? Just for your basic understanding, Rahul, can you explain this part? How does this work?
So the
So the step 1.
so first of all, we have to select the files to be in the working set.
Exactly.
And whichever files are in the whichever how many modules we have created, all has to be selected, which will be considered as a working set. And then we'll use the natural language to describe the required changes to the copilot.
Yeah.
Later, we will see the proposed changes in place in your code. Like whatever changes
Exactly.
has been done, that can be reviewed by us. Then
Perfect.
we will review each suggested edit and choose which to keep. So it is going to suggest multiple edits, and we can have the control to choose which to keep, which one
Shall
to keep.
shall we do it now?
Yeah, we can do.
Yes. So now as a first step, so if the Copilot chat panel is not visible, just go here and open this Copilot chat panel. So if it is visible, just come directly to this window. So the dialog box, and here you just change the setting at the bottom of the Copilot chat window. This is a chat window. In this chat window, change this setting from the ask to the edit mode.
Edit.
It has not been changed. Click on the edit mode. It's not been changed. Okay, let me close this one, reopen
Have to-
it, open
Yeah.
chat. Sorry, let me reopen the, click here or the plus and new chat. So now let me change this to the edit. So that's done. Now it is in edit with Copilot. So now what we're gonna do here is, let's come to this side. So let's open this src. Okay, in src, let's go to the static. In static, we have three files. One is javascript and an html file and css. So now what we're going to do is, let's try to add them as a context to the Copilot. So now, to do that, what you need to do is very simple. Open the files related to our web page, then drag each file, drag each editor window to the chat panel. That's it. So now let's imagine this is one option. Okay. Or the second option is, you can just click here. Already it's been added. Let's close this. Where is this open? Yeah, let me close this. Yeah. So either you can just select app.js is done. Now index.html, then styles.js, styles.css. That's it. So now our three files are there. Now what we're going to do here is just come here and this copy the core prompt. So what we're going to do at this moment is, hey Copilot, can you please edit the activity cards to add a participant section? It will show what participants that are already signed up for that activity as a bulleted list. So remember to make it pretty. That's it. And if you do changes in HTML, you need to do the changes in CSS, you need to do in JavaScript also. That's why we have added all those three. And now what you're gonna do is, you just need to click on this. That's rest all of that. So up where, just execute and let's wait a moment for edit suggestions to arrive and can be applied. So now our Copilot in edit mode is starting its work. And first changes are happening in app.js and second is styles.css. So let's try to review the piece of code. Okay, participant section, it is added and it is used that let, and so the nice information has been added here. So let me accept here and I'm going to styles.css. So these are the three sections it has added and let me keep it. And what about the other file? Is there any change in index.html? Probably. So there's no change, but have we added? Yeah, we have added all those things. That's fine. I think whatever is required. So what it's saying, add styles for participants, update the activity section displaying emails, add some basic styling for this app.js and style.css. That's, there are no changes in the HTML file. Clear?
Yes.
So now a suggested edits panel has appeared in the bottom and right of the editor window, providing controls to jump to the right recommended changes, and we have added it and we have done the changes. So now we can just quickly review these changes. Before we can just quickly review these changes and check whether this information has been added or not. So are these any changes here? Yes, you got it. You see that the participants in a nice brilliant way. Done. So this
Yes.
exercise, so now that we have confirmed our changes are good and we can use the panel to cycle through each suggested edits and press keep to apply these changes. Now we have done it and we have found it is functional and all these new features are complete and we are absolutely ready to push the changes to the GitHub. So what we can do is let's push this to the GitHub. So let come here and again use this, and let me make it bigger. So you see that it has given a nice commit, which is add participant section to activity cards with styling. And let me commit this. And once we commit, let's sync these changes and click OK. And so it has been committed in the branch that you can clearly see. And now let's get back to the exercise. And here it is. So with these commit changes, all, so that's fine, run and debug. So that's what so we have done so far. As we have already crossed 1.5 hours, so the next section, which is integrating MCP with Copilot, we will do this lab tomorrow. We'll just review the previous sections one more time, and then we will review this entire thing tomorrow. So yeah, Rahul. So
Yeah, it was nice coding along with you guys. Actually, it was pretty much interesting to see how the Copilot, GitHub Copilot is actually doing the changes for every single thing, like for staging, for committing, and then for changing the codes. Whatever activity was there, completely it was automated using just a prompt. Yeah, fantastic.
Kirti, how was your experience? The two labs we have done, of course, tomorrow we'll be getting into the mega lab. That is going to be more crazier.
Yes, this was really interesting. Thank you so much for explaining the entire process, and we definitely did forward. And
Ketan,
yeah,
you can put your mic to your mouth like this. Yeah.
yeah, sorry. I'm absolutely sorry. Yeah, we definitely followed up. It was really great. Thank you so
Still, we
much.
couldn't hear you.
Is it fine?
No.
It's little lower.
Yeah.
The
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
No. Can
Am
you
I?
just unplug and plug it?
Is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
it's too
thank you
much
so
now.
much. It was really great. I mean, we just followed up, and yeah, we finally did the entire process. It was really so easy the way you guys explained it. Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, and definitely looking forward
Yeah,
to of such
that's brilliant.
videos.
But see, the one more thing is, mm, so today, so of course, there's a mega lab. Within this mega lab, so far, what we have covered is we just made sure that everyone knows the GitHub basics and doing the most important things with a nice exercise and lab, and post that Rahul pitched in, and he try to integrate the GitHub Copilot with the VS Code and the GitHub code space. And then we have used the maximum capabilities, but we have not used one brilliant capability, which is agent. That we will use it tomorrow. So we have used the inline chat, we have used edit, we have used ask. So we have used the GitHub Copilot in the terminal. So we have done the brilliant stuff all around. It's fantastic. And tomorrow we are going to do the crazier stuff. It's just a build up for tomorrow. An agent, an MCP server with the GitHub Copilot agent will do all these activities, whatever we have done today for you. You will just sit and watch like a dog. Yeah, that's good. Yes, Angel, what is your experience? Are you able to follow up? Do you have any questions for Rahul and Kirtana at this moment?
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Uh, Sir, this session was really very exciting, and I was following up you all guys.
That's cool. So, do you have any questions for Rahul or Kirtana? Any of those sessions from the GitHub or from the GitHub Copilot?
Yeah, I will text the questions in the comment section.
That's brilliant. Okay, so I hope you're able to follow up, and I hope others also able to do the same. And that's awesome. Thanks a lot, Sejal, for following up. And yeah, Kirtana. Then, so for the tomorrow, we will reconnect at the same time, and we will do the MCP revolution, the brilliant stuff tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Till then, just keep vibing with GitHub Copilot. Don't let loose.
Sure. Thank
Don't
you.
let loose.
We'll catch up
Much
soon.
shining off.
Yeah, sure, sure. Take care, guys. Have a great time. See you. So that's what, to summarize the entire thing. So tomorrow we'll be reconnecting for the MCP server. So we will set up the GitHub MCP server, and we'll use the GitHub Copilot agent, and we will run and all these tasks in an agentic mode. Just get ready for that. And tomorrow I'll see you. Till then, just watch my pair vibe coding as well as the MCP server course. Also, I'm doing it parallelly. Just watch it. And then if you have any doubts, just put it in the comments. Our team will respond to each and every question, whether it is for Kirtana or Rahul. So everyone will respond it, but don't let lose this. So the best thing, so to be the best guy in the coming world and the present world, you have to be equipped with the tools. You know how to use a tool in the best way possible. The best batsman is the one who knows how to use the bat in the best way. The best coder is the one who knows how to write the code in a best way possible. That was before, but now a best developer is the one who knows how to use these pair coding tools in the best way possible. So that's why your thought process will slowly change from the existing one. Now you have to think in a best way that, for me, what is important to understand how to use these tools in a best way. So that's the reason we are doing it. So now you have seen the GitHub Copilot has a brilliant capabilities, but people are not using it in a much way. So 99% of people are not using it in the best way possible. They're just using it as another chat GPT. But that's not a chat GPT. That is a code assist. So I request you to use it in the best way possible. That's what we are here for. Okay. See you then. Tomorrow's webinar on MCP. That would be crazier. That would be literally crazier. That's cool. That's vibe coding. But what if we amplify that vibe, make it a team sport? So, and we are not just coding with AI anymore. We are doing a pair vibe coding. So we call it as pair vibe coding. For me, pair vibe coding is just like conducting an orchestra. We will explore UI UX with Google Stitch and launch ideas fast using bolt.new or microsas setups.
Hey, the pair vibe coding is where the team creativity meets the AI precision. We'll harness the powerhouse like Gemini 2.5 Pro and specific Mistral AI agents.
Hello! Pair vibe coding is the next wave of innovation. Imagine crafting stunning UX with global development or diving into Web3 with multiverse as a unified team.
Hi, Pair vibe coding breaks down barriers. We'll build MVPs with Replit, deploy it on Vercel, and even manage the synchronous tasks with Google's tools.